Welcome, folks, to another round of preview for Week 13, which is the first round of our playoff matchups. I just want to say good luck to everyone that's involved in the dance, whether that's in the Ship Bowl bracket or the championship tier bracket. Let's get on to our first matchup. We've got Bad News Bears at 7-5, facing up with Deep Dishin, who's also 7-5. They were 1-1 head-to-head this year, both close matchups. Looking at these matchups going down, excuse my cough, line by line here, a couple different things really stick out for me, and I think for Bad News Bears, you know Aaron Rodgers is going to light up the Vikings. Can he get to 40 points? Darren Sproles, how is he going to fare against Atlanta? I think he's going to have a decent game, 15 to 20 points. Anything beyond that is major upside. Green Ellis is definitely a little bit suspect. I'd say Bryce Brown is definitely a wild card, but you have to love what he does or what he did this past Monday night. He's also on Sunday night again in prime time. Dallas actually isn't very good against the run, so I think Bryce Brown has some huge upside. Once again, congrats on that pickup. Johnson against Tennessee, he should kill it. I'm expecting another 40-plus performance from him. I'd say Torrey Smith is a wild card, but he should do okay against Pittsburgh. Vernon Davis against St. Louis should do well. I think Tucker's going to be okay. And then I think the Giants and Jared Allen both are going to actually score some decent points. I expect at least 10 from Allen, and I probably would suspect 15 or so from the Giants. And so I'd say on the other end with Deep Dishin, he's going to need to get over 160. Can he get there? Eli Manning, maybe. Adrian Peterson should have a great game. Ray Rice will be average against Pittsburgh, maybe 15 points. He definitely needs to get in the end zone. I think LaShore is definitely a wild card. Reggie Wayne should do well in Detroit. Julio Jones needs to have a huge performance tonight for Deep Dish to have a chance. Going with Antonio Gates over Brandon Myers, and I think that's just because of the fact that Cleveland's actually really good against tight ends. Prater, hopefully he doesn't miss more field goals, but you never know. That should be a high-scoring affair against Tampa. I expect Prater to bounce back with at least 10. Big question mark for Deep Dish is going to be how is he going to do against with the Arizona Cardinals at the New York Jets. They could have a great defensive game. I expect a minimum of 10, upside of 25 points, but just depends on how this Jets team comes out. On the other quarterfinal matchup, we've got Jerkback versus Multiple Scoregasms. Love Cam Newton at Kansas City. Stephen Ridley against Miami should do pretty good, but it's tough to trust Belichick. You figure that New England is going to get most of it done in the air down in Miami. Doug Martin at Denver, not an ideal matchup, but I think the guy is just too good to be contained. Morris against the Giants, that is definitely a wild card. Giants do have a good run D. Welker is going to blow it up against Miami. Green should do great in San Diego. Gresham should do great in San Diego. Janikowski should be pretty good. Cowboys should be okay against Philadelphia, especially being that Philadelphia has mailed it in. And then Washington should do all right. I think for Scoregasms, the real key for him is going to be Kaepernick. Johnson's going to be tough against San Francisco. Chris Johnson at against Houston's tough. Lloyd should do well. Colson has to have a huge game as well as Cecil Shorts. I think both of those do come through. Can Gonzalez get another couple touchdowns in New Orleans, or did he already score too favorably a couple weeks ago in that matchup? I think so. Blair Walsh and then New England's D. Can they continue to produce? If they get another plus 25 performance, I think MS has a chance, but I think Jerkback does run away with this one for once. Even though these two have played two really tight matchups, it'll be fascinating to see how this will develop. Spreadheads versus Team Pigeon. I like Spreadheads in this one. I think Breeze does well. I think Lynch does well. Actually, I don't think Lynch does well in Chicago. Jordy Nelson will do great against Minnesota, as well as Andre Roberts against the Jets. Keller against Arizona should be interesting. Finley against Minnesota should be great. And J.J. Watt is going to eat up Tennessee big time. I think for Lee, obviously Robert Griffin's key. Matthews and Richardson should be pretty good. Hakeem Nicks needs a huge game. I think Denarius Moore and Kendall Wright are just two X factors for him, and I think that With that said, St. Louis isn't going to do well against San Francisco, and I do expect Spreadheads to run away with this one in our first semifinal matchup in the Shit Bowl. Lastly, we've got Sterl versus Egg Rolls, and I think Egg Rolls is going to pull off the upset. They both finished, I believe, at the same record. It's been a long year for Eggs, but Eggs, you can go ahead and get that $35. Keep playing your lineup. I like Fitzpatrick. I like Jennings. Actually, I don't like Jennings. I like Spiller. I think Austin and Cruz have great games. And I think the Houston Texans, again, blow it up in Tennessee. For Sterl, I just see too many difficult matchups. So what I mean by that is I see DeAngelo Williams not doing that well in Kansas City. Charles should do okay against Carolina. I like Vincent Jackson. I don't think Wallace does a whole lot. I also think that Randall Cobb has a great game. A lot of variables, though, with Jennings coming back. So it'll be interesting to see